The old dollhouse stood silently in the garden, a relic of a bygone era. Its once vibrant colors had faded, and its structure had weathered many storms. A forgotten relic of childhood dreams, it seemed to whisper tales of the past to anyone who would listen. At least that's what Misty Rose Lee thought when she first saw it. She had stumbled upon it while exploring her new garden, a place she hoped would be her sanctuary. Misty was a woman of simple pleasures. Gardening brought her peace, a way to connect with nature and find solace in the beauty of blooming flowers. Her showcats and dogs brought her joy, their playful antics a constant source of laughter and companionship. But the dollhouse would bring her something else entirely. It would introduce her to a world she never knew existed, fear, a deep, unsettling fear that crept into her heart and refused to leave. Misty had recently moved into the house hoping for a fresh start. It was a charming place with a large garden, perfect for her to indulge in her love for horticulture. The garden was a paradise for her furry companions and her prize-winning roses, a place where life thrived. The dollhouse, tucked away in a corner, seemed harmless at first. Its paint was peeling, and it looked like it had been forgotten for years. Weeds grew around its base, adding to its neglected appearance. An air of melancholy hung over it, as if it carried the weight of forgotten memories and lost time. One cool evening, as dusk settled, Misty heard something strange. It was a sound that didn't belong in her tranquil garden. It was a soft whisper, barely audible, but enough to send a chill down her spine. A moan carried on the breeze. She dismissed it, attributing it to the wind playing tricks on her, but the sounds persisted, growing louder and more distinct with each passing night. Night after night, they grew stronger, more distinct. It was as if the dollhouse was trying to communicate with her. Misty couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her. An unseen presence that made her skin crawl. Something unseen lurked in the shadows of the old dollhouse, something dark and malevolent, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. This was no ordinary toy, it was a vessel of dark secrets and untold stories. This was a conduit to a terrifying past, a past that was about to collide with Misty's present in ways she could never have imagined. The early 1900s in Texas, a time of vast social change, of hardship and heartache. The shadow of the gallows loomed large. Capital punishment was a common sentence, even for crimes of passion. Infidelity was a betrayal punishable by death. Domestic violence simmered beneath the surface of many families. Secrets and lies festered in the hot Texas sun. It was against this backdrop of societal unrest that the story of the dollhouse began. The house had once been a place of laughter. Children played in the garden. Their joyful screams filled the air. The playhouse, a larger version of the dollhouse, was their castle, their sanctuary, but that was before the darkness descended. The father, driven mad by jealousy, discovered his wife's infidelity. Consumed by rage, he took his revenge. He murdered his 3 children. Their innocent blood stained the playhouse floor. His wife met the same gruesome fate. The man was caught and stood trial. The jury, unmoved by his pleas of passion, found him guilty. He was hanged for his crimes. The playhouse, now a macabre reminder of the tragedy, was torn down. Only the dollhouse, a miniature replica of the murder scene, remained. Section 4. Misty's haunting encounter. Screams in the silence. The whispers grew louder, echoing through the empty halls of the old mansion. They seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once, filling the air with an unsettling presence. They morphed into distinct cries, each one more chilling than the last. The moans of children, lost and forgotten, reverberated through the night, sending shivers down Misty's spine. The gut-wrenching sobs of a woman, filled with despair and longing, pierced the silence. Misty's blood ran cold as she realized these were not just sounds, but echoes of a tragic past. She knew she had to uncover the truth behind the dollhouse. It was more than just a child's plaything. It was a key to understanding the haunting that plagued her home. Her husband, a practical man, dismissed the sounds as mere figments of her imagination. "It's just the house settling," he'd say, or "You're just hearing things." "It's just the cats," he'd say, trying to reassure her. But Misty knew better. She could feel the malevolent energy that seemed to emanate from the dollhouse. Or, "The wind is playing tricks on you," he'd suggest, but Misty couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The whispers and cries were too real, too persistent to be mere tricks of the wind. There was something deeply unsettling about the dollhouse. Its tiny, lifelike details seemed to hold secrets, and its presence felt almost sentient, as if it were watching her, something sinister that defied explanation. Misty felt a growing sense of dread every time she looked at it, as if it were a portal to another world, one filled with pain and suffering. She began to research the history of her home, delving into old records and forgotten archives. She needed to understand what had happened here, and why the dollhouse seemed to be at the center of it all. She spoke to her neighbors, hoping to find some answers. Their reactions were telling. Their faces turned grim when she mentioned the dollhouse, and they seemed reluctant to speak of it. Their faces turned grim when she mentioned the dollhouse. It was as if they all shared a dark secret, one that they were too afraid to reveal. They told her the story of the murders, a gruesome tale that had been buried in the annals of the town's history. The tragic fate of the family who lived there before was a chilling revelation. The tragic fate of the family who lived there before. Misty was horrified. The whispers, the moans, they all made sense now. The dollhouse was a remnant of their suffering, a vessel for their tormented souls. The whispers, the moans, they all made sense now. That the dollhouse wasn't just a toy, it was a prison, a vessel containing the tormented souls of the murdered family. The dollhouse wasn't just a toy, it was a prison, a vessel containing the tormented souls of the murdered family. Misty knew she had to find a way to release them, to bring peace to their restless spirits, a vessel containing the tormented souls of the murdered family. She felt a heavy responsibility to uncover the truth and set them free, no matter the cost. Section 5. The Mind's Eye, Belief and the Paranormal. In this chapter, we delve into the mysterious and often unsettling world of the paranormal, exploring the depths of human belief and the unknown. The human mind is a powerful instrument, capable of shaping our reality in ways we are only beginning to understand. It can create vivid images and experiences that feel incredibly real. Capable of both incredible feats of logic and terrifying flights of fancy, our minds can sometimes blur the lines between what is real and what is imagined. This duality is at the heart of our fascination with the paranormal. Belief in the paranormal falls somewhere in between the realms of reality and imagination. It is a space where our deepest fears and hopes converge, creating a tapestry of experiences that defy easy explanation. Is it a coping mechanism for the unexplainable, a way for our minds to make sense of the chaos and uncertainty that surrounds us? Or is it a genuine connection to a realm beyond our understanding, a glimpse into a world that exists just beyond the veil of our perception? Or is it a genuine connection to a realm beyond our understanding? This question has puzzled humanity for centuries, leading to countless theories and beliefs about the nature of the paranormal. Psychologists have long studied the phenomenon of haunted objects, trying to understand why certain items seem to carry an aura of mystery and fear. These objects often become focal points for our anxieties and superstitions. Some believe that our beliefs and expectations can influence our perceptions, leading us to hear and see things that may not be there. This is known as the power of suggestion, where our minds fill in the gaps based on what we expect to find, leading us to hear and see things that may not be there. This phenomenon can be particularly strong in environments that are already eerie or unsettling, where our senses are heightened and our imaginations run wild. Others suggest that traumatic events can leave an imprint on a location, a kind of psychic residue that sensitive individuals can pick up on. This idea, often referred to as residual haunting, posits that intense emotions can become embedded in the environment, a kind of psychic residue that sensitive individuals can pick up on. These imprints can manifest as sounds, sights, or even feelings, creating a haunting experience that seems to replay the past. Misty's experiences with the dollhouse could be explained by both science and superstition. On one hand, the creaking and whispers could be attributed to natural causes, such as the wind or the settling of the house. Perhaps the whispers were just the wind playing tricks on her ears. The human mind is adept at finding patterns, even where none exist, and this can lead to the perception of paranormal activity. The moans, the creaking of an old house, these sounds are often amplified in our minds, especially when we are alone or in a state of heightened awareness. Our brains are wired to detect threats, and this can sometimes lead to false alarms. Or maybe, just maybe, they were the echoes of a tragedy so horrific that it transcended death itself. This possibility, while chilling, speaks to the enduring power of human emotion and the mysteries that still lie beyond our understanding.